Hey everyone! Welcome back to Global Fact Trends. You know me, I love talking about space, but sometimes we forget that the most fascinating celestial body is right under our noses. Literally, our planet's atmosphere. It's this invisible shield that makes life possible, and trust me, it's way more dynamic and surprising than you might think. We're about to dive into 7 mind-blowing facts about Earth's atmosphere, from its unexpected composition to its role in creating those breathtaking sunsets you love to Instagram. Seriously, this thin layer of gas does more heavy lifting than a rocket carrying a telescope into space. Before we unlock the secrets of the sky, make sure you're subscribed to Global Fact Trends. Hit that like button and tell us in the comments which fact blows your mind the most. For science. All right, let's talk about temperature. We humans like our comfort zone, right? Well, Earth's got a comfort zone too, and you can thank the atmosphere for that. It acts like this giant invisible blanket, trapping just the right amount of heat from the sun. Think of it like this. You're wrapped up in a cozy blanket on a chilly night. The blanket doesn't make heat, but it keeps you warm by trapping your body heat. That's the greenhouse effect in action, folks. Sunlight reaches Earth, some bounces back into space, but some gets absorbed by the Earth, warming it up. Now, without the atmosphere, all that heat would just radiate back into space, leaving Earth colder than a comet in the Oort cloud. I'm talking about an average temperature of minus 18 degrees Celsius, or 0 degrees Fahrenheit. Brr, that's colder than the average temperature of Mars. Instead, thanks to the greenhouse effect, our planet enjoys a balmy average of 15 degrees Celsius, or 59 degrees Fahrenheit. That's like perfect t-shirt weather for most of us Earthlings. But here's the kicker. The atmosphere's composition plays a huge role in regulating this temperature. We're talking about the right balance of gases like carbon dioxide, methane, and water vapor. Too much of a good thing and we end up like Venus, a scorching inferno. Too little and we're stuck in a permanent ice age. So yeah, the atmosphere's got a pretty important job, keeping our planet from turning into either a deep freezer or a microwave. It's all about balance, people. Okay, get ready for this one. The atmosphere is full of water. And no, I'm not just talking about rain clouds. I'm talking about enough water vapor to cover the entire planet. You heard that right. If all the water vapor in the atmosphere suddenly decided to condense, think of it like the world's biggest rain cloud. It would cover the Earth in a layer of water about an inch deep. That's enough to cause some serious flooding, right? Luckily, that's not how it works. Water vapor is constantly cycling through the atmosphere, evaporating, condensing, and precipitating in a delicate balance. This atmospheric water cycle is what gives us rain, snow, sleet, and all that fun weather. But it's more than just weather, folks. Water vapor is a powerful greenhouse gas, even more effective than carbon dioxide at trapping heat. So it plays a crucial role in regulating Earth's temperature. Remember that cozy blanket analogy? Well, water vapor is like adding another layer of fleece. And just like that extra layer, it needs to be just the right thickness. Too much water vapor and we get runaway warming. Too little and the planet starts to cool down. It's a delicate dance, but luckily for us, the atmosphere's got some fancy footwork. Let's face it, few things in nature are as awe-inspiring and terrifying as a good thunderstorm. The blinding flash of lightning, the deafening roar of thunder. It's like Mother Nature is putting on a rock concert. But have you ever stopped to think about what causes these electrifying phenomena? Well, it all starts with the atmosphere. You see, within those towering thunderclouds, there's a whole lot of static electricity building up. Think about what happens when you rub a balloon on your hair. It's the same principle, just on a much grander scale. As warm, moist air rises and collides with colder air, it creates an electric field within the cloud. Different parts of the cloud become charged, kind of like a giant battery in the sky. And when the electrical potential difference becomes too great, bam! Lightning strikes. Now, lightning is essentially a massive discharge of electricity, and it heats up the air around it to a scorching 30,000 Kelvin. That's 5 times hotter than the surface of the sun. This sudden heating causes the air to expand explosively, creating a shock wave that we hear as thunder. So the next time you're caught in a thunderstorm, remember that you're witnessing the incredible power of atmospheric electricity. Have you ever looked up at the sky and wondered, why is it blue? No, it's not because someone spilled a giant can of paint up there. It's all thanks to the atmosphere and a phenomenon called Rayleigh scattering. Imagine sunlight as a wave traveling through space. When it hits the Earth's atmosphere, it encounters all sorts of tiny particles, nitrogen molecules, oxygen molecules, even dust and water droplets. Now, these particles scatter the sunlight in all directions. But here's the thing, blue light with its shorter wavelength gets scattered way more than other colors. It's like trying to bounce a ping pong ball through a room full of beach balls. The smaller, lighter ping pong ball is going to ricochet all over the place. That's why when we look up at the sky, we see all that scattered blue light. It's like the atmosphere is giving us a free light show. And speaking of light shows, let's talk about sunsets. Those fiery hues of orange, red, and purple are also thanks to atmospheric scattering. As the sun dips below the horizon, its light has to travel through more of the atmosphere to reach our eyes. This means even more of the blue light gets scattered away, leaving behind the longer wavelengths, oranges, reds, yellows. It's like filtering the sunlight through a prism. So the next time you're gazing at a beautiful sunset, remember to thank the atmosphere for putting on such a spectacular show. Chapter 5, Our Invisible Shield, How the Atmosphere Protects Us from the Sun. We love the sun, right? It gives us light, warmth, and helps us make vitamin D. But the sun is also a bit of a diva. It emits harmful ultraviolet or UV radiation that can be pretty nasty for us Earthlings. Think sunburns, skin cancer, even damage to our eyes and immune systems. Not fun! Luckily, we've got a bodyguard, and it's called the ozone layer. This special layer, located in the stratosphere, acts like Earth's very own sunscreen, absorbing most of the harmful UV radiation before it reaches us. It's like having a giant umbrella shielding us from the sun's rays. But here's the thing, the ozone layer is pretty fragile. Human-made chemicals like chlorofluorocarbons, or CFCs, which were once used in refrigerators and aerosol sprays, have been damaging this vital shield. Think of it like poking holes in our protective umbrella. Thankfully, we've taken steps to ban these ozone-depleting substances, and the ozone layer is slowly recovering. But it's a stark reminder that we need to protect this invisible shield that protects us. Chapter 6, More Than Just Oxygen, the surprising gases in our atmosphere. We all know that the atmosphere is made up of air, and we need air to breathe. But what exactly is air? Well, it's not just oxygen, that's for sure. It's actually a fascinating cocktail of gases, and some of them might surprise you. Let's start with the heavy hitters. Nitrogen takes the crown, making up a whopping 78% of the atmosphere. That's right, the air we breathe is mostly nitrogen. Next up is oxygen, coming in at a respectable 21%. Together, nitrogen and oxygen make up 99% of the atmosphere. But what about that remaining 1%? Well, that's where things get interesting. We've got argon, a noble gas, hanging out at just under 1%. Then there's carbon dioxide, the greenhouse gas we hear so much about. It's actually a tiny fraction of the atmosphere, only about 0.04%. But don't let its small percentage fool you. It plays a big role in regulating Earth's temperature. And it's not just these gases. We've got neon, helium, methane, krypton, xenon, and even hydrogen floating around up there. It's like a cosmic gas station. So the next time you take a deep breath, remember that you're inhaling a complex and fascinating mixture of gases, each with its own story to tell. Chapter 7. Higher Than You Think, the atmosphere's surprising reach. When we think about the atmosphere, we often picture it as this thin blue line hugging the Earth. But in reality, it extends much farther than we might imagine. We're talking about 10,000 kilometers, or 6,200 miles, from the Earth's surface. That's like stacking 1,333 Eiffel Towers on top of each other. Of course, the atmosphere isn't uniform throughout. It's divided into different layers, each with its own unique characteristics. We've got the troposphere, where we live and where most of our weather happens. Then there's the stratosphere, home to the ozone layer. Above that, we have the mesosphere, thermosphere, and finally, the exosphere. Now, the exosphere is where things get really interesting. It's the outermost layer of the atmosphere, and it gradually fades into the vacuum of space. There's no clear boundary, just a gradual thinning of air molecules until there's practically nothing left. And guess what hangs out in this boundary zone? Satellites! That's right, those technological marvels that beam down our GPS signals and TV shows are orbiting Earth within the fringes of our atmosphere. So the next time you look up at a satellite streaking across the night sky, remember that it's a testament to the surprising reach of our planet's atmosphere. outro the breathtaking reality of our atmosphere. So there you have it, folks. 7 surprising facts about Earth's atmosphere that prove it's way more than just the air we breathe. It's a dynamic, complex, and surprisingly beautiful system that makes life on Earth possible. From regulating our planet's temperature to creating those stunning sunsets we love to capture, the atmosphere is a constant source of wonder and amazement. Which fact surprised you the most? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to Global Fact Trends for more mind-blowing insights into our incredible planet. Next up, we're diving into the pressing issue of climate change with our video 7 ways climate change is altering the atmosphere. Stay curious, everyone.